Hello guys, I am back. I know, it's crazy. Me posting twice in a week, absolutely insane. I have very exciting things today. Give me a sec. I have coffee here. Mmm, tasty. Oh, got a mustache. Oh well. Um, I'm struggling. So, I told y'all last video I was writing a book. Yes, I don't have a name, but haha, I have words. Sorry. I am so tired. I got like 5 hours of sleep and I danced for like 5 hours yesterday. That was fun. But getting distracted, sidetracked, get it together. I have the prologue and the first chapter down, and I have a little bit of the second chapter, but I don't really like it, so I'm probably gonna delete it and redo it. But I don't have a name yet, but I am going to read the prologue, and I may or may not read the first chapter. It depends, and then if I don't read it today, I'll probably read it tomorrow or next week or something, because I can't do it this weekend because I'm busy. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay, prologue. Dr. Ivan sat at his desk. A beaker full of a glowing yellow liquid sat on the shiny surface, along with an abundance of papers, pens, small metal objects, and other random items. He picked up the beaker and poured it into a jar of opalescent sludge. There was a large pop, and a slightly thinner cream turned dark blood red. I think I've perfected the formula, he shouted, jumping to his feet and walking over to the wall opposite his desk. He swept his shaggy brown hair out of his eyes. He made an attempt at straightening his crooked blazer, but failed. A landline was hanging on the stone wall. Dr. Ivans picked it up. Hello, Brandy? Send in the girls. Several minutes later, a tall, pretty woman entered the room, flanked by two little girls. One looked about 9, with stark blonde hair and dark eyes, almost too dark. Light freckles sprayed her face. Next to her was a short girl. She was probably 7. She had waist-length gold ringlets. Her eyes were a vivid shade of green. Her face was round, and she had long, dark eyelashes. Ah, girls, I've done it. I need to test the formula. Flare, the smaller girl, Flare, walked over to the man. She sat in his desk chair. Please, don't do this to her. She's too little, the older girl yelled. Restrain her. Brandy rolled her eyes. She had the same golden ringlets Flare had. She had freckles as well, but the most defining feature she had were her eyes. One was dark, mysterious, full of anger. The other was an unholy shade of green. Come here, little brat, Brandy said as she held the little girl against herself. Open your mouth, Flare. The little girl shook her head. I don't want to. Dr. Ivan sighed and leaned toward the little girl. He whispered something in her ear. She went rigid, face blank, nodded, and opened her mouth. Now that's a good girl, he said, pouring the liquid down her throat. The little girl screamed, a blood-curdling screech. Let me go! The other girl broke free. She went to grab Flare, but it was too late. Her body had crystallized, turning a horrible shade of green. Flare, no! The monster stared at her. Something in its eyes was the same, almost like Flare was still there, trapped in a cage. Run, Valor, faster than you ever have in your life. Faster than Arkin. Valor felt tears in her eyes. The mention of their older brother, who had died when they were little, fueled her. I'm coming back for you, Flare. And just like that, Valor was gone. She burst through the doors of the factory. She ran. Memories blinded her. There out in the ground where her, Arkin, and Flare used to run, the swing set where the 3 of them would play. The tree, Arkin's tree, where they buried him. Valor shook the thoughts out of her head. She needed to focus, to run. She didn't know how long had passed before she came to a little house in the middle of nowhere. She sighed and knocked on the door. She didn't have any better options. It opened. A tall man stood in the doorway. He looked like he had just woken up. He was wearing a pair of pajamas that looked way too hot for this time of year. He had messy red hair and freckles. He rubbed the sleep out of his eyes. Can I help you? He asked. It must have looked very suspicious. A winded, shaking 9-year-old on his doorstep at 2 a.m. with seemingly no one else around. Valor heard a voice. Honey, what's going on? A lady came into view. She was very obviously pregnant. Valor took that as a good sign. That meant they were most likely friendly, safe people. I was wondering if I could spend the night. I don't have anywhere else to go. The man knelt down. What happened to you, sweetheart? Valor knew better than to tell him, so she came up with the best excuse she could, and it was probably true. My family is dead. Freak accident. The lady gasped. Poor thing. She turned to her husband. We have the guest room. She could stay there. The man sighed and rubbed his temple. Okay, Zilla, she can stay. What's your name? Valor was about to say, but she realized that would be a bad idea. If her parents came looking. My name's Circuit, she said. Those were the words her brother would use when they were in trouble. He would say, I need to rewire the circuit. My name is Lucas. This is my wife, Zilla. Zilla smiled at her. He stepped aside to let her pass. Their house is small, nice, nothing too fancy. Lucas led her to a bedroom. It had bare white walls and a four-poster bed in the corner. So, this is where you can sleep tonight, Lucas said. Thank you, Valor mumbled. She felt slightly awkward till Zilla came in. Circuit, do you have anybody to live with? Valor shook her head. No, I'm the last one. Lucas and Zilla shared a look. Would you like to live with us? And that is the prologue to my book. I have been writing books since I was probably 9 or 10, but and like writing like a lot, too much fan fiction in between and stuff, but I'm not the best at it, but I'm getting better. But yeah, there's the prologue. I'll probably read the first chapter later. Yeah, that's just about it. Yeah, nothing has really like changed much, honestly. I have dance tonight. I have a lock-in this weekend. Other than that, there isn't really much I've been doing. Oh, I did want to say, I put in like the little, the description thing that like tells you about the YouTuber, and that I put a little thing that like said some of the fandoms I'm in, and I put TADC, which is the Amazing Digital Circus, because I finally watched it. Because I had a friend and he told me about it, and then I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds cool. Because I like knew it existed, and I'd seen like edits and stuff on it of it on YouTube, and like 6 months later, I finally get around to watching it, and I'm obsessed, and I am in love, and it is amazing, and I can't wait till episode 7. I've had Daisy Bell, the song from episode 6, stuck in my head, and it won't get out. I just randomly singing it for no reason, for no apparent reason. It's really fun, especially if you sing it really creepily in the shower when you're all alone at night. I'm crazy. Um, I also watched the first episode of Murder Drones. Yeah, yeah, I don't think I'll ever recover from that. My friend told me that I'm basically Uzi, and he's right. I am. I know he watches my videos, so you know who you are. Hello. Um, but yeah, yeah. So that's all. I'm just rambling at this point, so I'm done. I'm done. Okay. I love y'all. Mwah, mwah. Bye.